Greetings, Benjamin J. the Victrola Guy, with another in the series on the tinfoil phonograph. Well, as you know, this is the 1878 demonstration phonograph. I just did a major modification to this machine. I replaced the original copper diaphragm. This was the original, this is what came with the machine. I replaced it with a piece of isinglass. Now, isinglass is like sheet mica, and I had one piece that was big enough. This is isinglass, and it's very much like standard sheet mica. It doesn't shatter or layer the way mica does. In fact, you can see where I cut this with a pair of scissors. If this had been mica, it would have just wrinkled the entire top layer off. In this case, it cuts fairly straight and clean. So using this as a pattern, I had a big enough piece to actually lay this on, draw a circle around it, and cut out a new diaphragm, which I have installed in the diaphragm holder, mouthpiece, whatever you want to call it. Now, you can buy this stuff online. A 4 by 6 inch sheet is only a few dollars, and this works really well. All of my early experiments with the canophonic recorder for the cylinder phonograph were made with isinglass. Really inexpensive, easy to work with, it's easy to cut, it's really cheap, and it works well. And this is what I was using until I started using polymers. So if you're looking for a source for a diaphragm for any phonograph, check into isinglass. It's really, really inexpensive, and like I said, it comes in a about 4 by 6 inch sheet between two pieces of cardboard, and like I said, it was, I don't know, $4. Really, really inexpensive. And it works. In this case, I've installed it in place of the original copper diaphragm, and we're going to do a recording to see what kind of difference it makes. The machine is fairly loud. What I'm looking for now is clarity. A good, clear, crisp recording. So we're going to do a quick recording with the new diaphragm and see how much of a difference it made. So a little bit of glue on our foil, run it around the mandrel, make sure it's tight and reasonably wrinkle free. And this glue works really well. It's really simple, water soluble, and it actually just wipes right off of the mandrel. So one small strip of glue, crimp the edges over, and then we just go around the mandrel and just roll this edge over. That gives you a really smooth surface to record on. Now, when you're doing this and you're rolling these edges over, you want to do it at a bit of an angle. If you try to do it straight down, it almost always induces a crease across the surface. If you do it at an angle, it doesn't. So just kind of rolling this down as I turn the mandrel, and it leaves a really, really tight, almost wrinkle-free surface on the foil around the mandrel. And this is our overlap, of course. It's about a ½ inch or so. And that's the click you hear every revolution. Click, click is this overlap. There's no way around that. So we'll rewind the mandrel to its starting position. Now, the nice thing about this isinglass diaphragm is I can see through it. I can see exactly where the stylus is in relation to the mandrel. And right now I'm on the very first groove, so we'll leave it there. I've got all my other parameters set, and hopefully this is going to make a clearer recording. This is the first test with isinglass. So let's see what a difference, or if it makes a difference at all, for that matter. But it is interesting that I can now see through the diaphragm direct to the mandrel. It's really interesting. And just doing vibration tests, the isinglass is much more sensitive than the copper. So I have no idea what this is going to sound like. We're going to do a quick recording and find out. Again, recording Mary Had a Little Lamb. And as I said, I put those silicone rubber feet on the phonograph. Just put one under each foot. They're little adhesive-backed silicone rubber tabs, really. And it just locked it to the surface of the desk. It doesn't move at all. So I don't have to hold it while I'm cranking it anymore. So let's do a quick recording and see what this sounds like and see if the Isinglass made a difference. Here we go. Hello, hello, hello. Mary had a little lamb. Its fleece was white as snow. And everywhere that Mary went, the lamb was sure to go. Ha, ha, ha. All right, we've got fairly good modulation. I can see that on the foil itself. Really, really defined layers or lines of dots. So we'll rewind the mandrel to its starting point. As I said, what's nice about this Isinglass is that I can now see through it, and I can see exactly where the stylus is on the mandrel. Alright, so here's the first test with an Isinglass diaphragm. Alright, well, it's definitely clearer than it was. So now I think just some fine-tuning and adjustments. I'm still going to be working with this stylus, perhaps reduce its diameter a bit, and see if that makes a difference. Because what I'm looking for is a good, clear, crisp, reasonably loud recording. And trying to get that off of this machine is difficult. Remember, this is a demonstration phonograph. It was designed strictly to demonstrate the principles of recording. It was never intended to make high-quality voice recordings of any kind. But it actually recorded fairly well using Isinglass. In fact, let me play it again and see how it holds up to a second playing. So, as I said, I'll be continuing experimenting with the Isinglass, also with the size of the stylus, and now that I've replaced the diaphragm with Isinglass, I'm going to have to repeat my experiments with depth settings and things like that. But the initial recording was fairly decent. So now it's just a matter of fine-tuning this, seeing how well it works, and doing some experiments now with setting the depth and seeing if we can really improve the overall results. But I would say this is definitely better than the original copper diaphragm. So we'll just continue the experiments and see what happens. In the meantime, if you have any questions, feel free to drop me an email, TheVictrolaGuy@gmail.com. A lot of fun doing this, and I've made hundreds of recordings on this now. And there's just so many variables. But now that I've got the new Isinglass diaphragm installed, I'll repeat my depth experiments and see what we can come up with. But I just wanted to do a quick video so you could hear the new Isinglass diaphragm. And as I said, if you're looking for a diaphragm for any phonograph, Isinglass really is the way to go. The stuff is really, really inexpensive. It's easy to cut, and the piece that you buy for, I think it's $4, is big enough to make the diaphragm for virtually anything. It works quite well. And as I said, this is what I was using until I started using polymers. And I may try a polymer on this, but one thing at a time. So just a quick experiment with the new Isinglass diaphragm. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to drop me an email, TheVictrolaGuy@gmail.com. And as always, thank you for watching.